Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to try to fix up this lawn mower, electric lawn mower here. Hyundai, it doesn't look overly good quality. However, I thought I was buying a brand new one. The picture showed on eBay a brand new one and it didn't mention anything about being used. It's arrived and it hasn't even got the grass cutting box that comes with it. It's got the top of the box, but it hasn't even got the bottom one. Also, it is it just feels awful, and it's not lying flat at all. I presume that's just height adjustment. But saying that, I only paid £20 for it. Now, it was down as no power, but yet it has power, but the blade isn't spinning. So I'm just going to place the camera on the floor, and I'm going to show you that the blade's not spinning. So to begin with, I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. And hopefully you can hear that working. But yet, when I do this and do the same thing, watch this. Motor's turning, but there's no life in the blade. So yeah, before we worry about it being all wobbly and stuff and the missing box at the back, because I presume you can still use it as a lawnmower, you just have to rake up afterwards, let's see why that is not spinning the way it should do. Okay, obviously I am unplugged. I'm also unplugged from the handle at the top as well. First thing I want to address is this feels particularly stiff, and also the blade sometimes is turning without the actual motor. So that's the motor turning, but now that's turning there. As you can see, it is well used. But to be fair, you'd only have to use this once or twice and it would be like that. I also have to work out why it's so uneven. I think these, you know what, that should be an easy fix. That's in the top one. Hold on, that's in the top one, that's in the top one. So why are they different heights? That's 2 fingers. That's 1 finger up. That's 2 fingers up. Why is that so? Has it been all bent out of shape? Let me loosen this off. Is that still wobbly, I wonder? I'm getting sidetracked. Still well wobbly. What on earth is going on? It's like the whole frame's been put out. Let's see what's happening at the back. So that's at its highest setting. Let's see if I can do the same on the back. And that's at the highest setting. Oh, there we go. We're level again. Brilliant. Okay, so it must have been the back that was out. Yay, we're level again. Brilliant. Well, let's try to undo this and see. There's holes here. I would have thought that they would have needed to fit onto something to stop this from happening. Now, is this reverse thread? No, maybe not. Wow. Can't grip onto it because there's a blade. How am I going to do this? Should I tap it with a hammer? No, because I'm going to be tapping the blade. I just don't like the way that that's loose. Or is it designed like that to give if it hits something? Because normally there's not much resistance on the grass, is there? Maybe I should leave that when I don't understand what's what. So I want to take out the top part. Hold on a minute. What? We're crooked again. What on earth is going on with this thing? Oh, it's dropped to here. Hold on. Oh, I don't know. Right, okay, let's undo the 2 screws here, see if this lifts off. And I want to see why the motor's spinning, but the blades are not spinning. Is there going to be some sort of belt drive in here, or what's the setup? Okay. Right now, wow. So if this is spinning and that's not, I presume then there's just going to be a gearbox in there with some rubbish plastic gears that have failed. Right, let me get rid of all this because it's hard to see what's going on. Anybody remember this? Okay, so we know the motor's spinning because it sounds like it's spinning. So we need to somehow get into this. Now that might be easier said than done. So when I turn this blade, is this turning? Is this nut turning? Yeah, that nut's turning there. I'd have to get a spanner and a socket, I think, to take this out. Let's undo the screws to begin with. I can see 4 screws. Right, so that's the 4 screws undone. Yeah, and that does want to come out that way. I think I have to undo that. And then it must lift up out the top. There goes the other 2 screws. Does this lift out now? Yeah, that lifts out there, but not from here. So is there more screws hidden up here? But there is. Yeah, there's going to be more screws hidden here. Good news is, I think the garden was clean. It doesn't smell of dog or cat do. Now, are you going to lift up? Yes, you are. Okay, so I either have to undo this top one or the bottom one, but I haven't got any socket sets, I don't think, at the moment. I think they're in the Rolls Royce. Bear with me, let me see what I've got in my car. Well, I did have a socket set in the car, which is great, and it looks to be 1/2 inch. So what I've done is I've taken this off here, the actual handle, just to make it a little bit easier for me to turn it over, because when I turn this here now, it's, oh, it is loosening, hold on. Or is that just turning the thing at the bottom? Yeah, that's just turning the bottom. So now, if I was to do this now, is it going to go? I think it's gone. Right. Turning that. Yeah, good. So, what's the drive going to be between here and here? Let's see what is going on in here. I'm going to undo this as well. Do you know what? I still have to undo the bottom, don't I? So the whole thing can come out. So that needs to actually go back on. So we need to go around this way. I need something to wedge this in. So if I go around here, let me see the best thing to wedge in. Would it be here? Nah. Come on guys, everything's loose everywhere now, so I'm going to have to do up these screws here, I think, to try to tighten this back on, because right now it's just wiggling everywhere. Oh, here we go. Claw hammer to the rescue, I think. Now obviously this is an incredibly small socket set. Still got to be careful because that blade slips. If it goes round, that's going to cut me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap it with a hammer and see. I say I've got to tap it with a hammer. I can't because the hammer's here. Right, let me see if I've got another hammer. I've done it. Hold on a minute. The whole thing is still turning. It's still just all turning. How on earth are you supposed to get this off? The whole thing's turning again. Oh my word. Right, how about if I was to jam something then into the actual this plastic fan thing. Right, so if I was to jam this into here, I wonder, would that stop it from going round, or would it just break? There. Hallelujah. Now, is that turning the top still? I don't believe it. It's still turning the top. Right, okay. I am now going to put the socket back on the top and try to use the adjustable spanner at the bottom. I know this would be like 107 times easier if I just had 2 socket sets, but I haven't. I have got access to another one at my dad's. It's just I don't want to pay the £12.50 ULEZ charge going down there, and also haven't seen him in a few days, so there's going to be a bit of chit chat for a bit, and next thing you know, an hour and a half's gone. And at this moment of time in December, I haven't got an hour and a half spare, so I'm just making do with what I have. But I appreciate it's probably a bit frustrating to watch. But saying that, not every single job you're going to have tools for, so sometimes you have to make the most of what you've got. Yes, now it's loosening. I tightened the top up lots. So it's definitely not reverse thread. Hallelujah! Yes, we've done it. We have done it. Right, okay, let's take off the top. Thing is though, that doesn't explain why it's not turning, yeah? Because this wasn't turning either. So now, let's undo those screws again. Also, if I turn this here, is the motor turning? No, so the motor's not turning here. There's various things wrong with this already. I would have never bought a second-hand lawnmower. I thought it was new, you see. So, right, so this needs to now come off, it looks like. Oh, come on. How does that come off? Is that broken, or is it supposed to do that? No, that's broken. So how are you actually supposed to, is this supposed to just come off? This is broken here as well. I thought they'd be a lot more fixable. You know, I thought they'd be easy to get into. That actually looks like it's glued on. Right, okay, I'm going to try to tap this down here. I think this is glued. There we go. There we go. So that there is faulty. Also looks like it's been melted as well a bit. That's the glue. Right, anyway, we are free. Haha. It's given up its oops, something's just come out. What was that? Screw. It's given up its secrets. There you go. The belt has slipped off, hasn't it? Okay. Well, that's good news that the belt's not broken. It's just everything else is a bit broken on it. So I think what's happened is it's gone against some rocks or something and caused the blade to stop working while this was still spinning. Yeah, so that's it there. Okay. I think what I'm going to do here is, because it's very misshapen, let's put it in a pan of boiling water. So 100% the motor's working because we heard it earlier. And I mean, the bearings haven't gone here. That sounds nice. So it's just, to actually fix it, I think what we would need is a new one of these. But I think we might get away because it's still determined, you know what I mean? Grass isn't going to put up that much of a fight against it. We need a new one of these. I mean, maybe you can buy them. And we need the grass box as well. But I've got a feeling the grass box is going to be a lot of money. I'm going to try to boil this to get it back into shape. Right, I'm using my wife's favourite saucepan. I've dropped it in here now. And I'm just kind of moving it around the place. Trying to kind of squidge the middle in it. Try to get the shape back to how it was. Oh my word, I can already see that it's going. Oh my. It is, it's relaxing it. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. It's much better. It's still a little bit crinkled up here. Just give it another 30 seconds or so. Turn that off now. I'm happy with that. Very, very happy with that. The saucepan smells of Pirelli now. You can see that it really has taken on a better shape. It's not perfect, but it's not far off. So let's try to get this on here. Hopefully that might have made it a bit more elastic as well. How am I going to get this on? Is it a case of just stretching it? Or maybe I'll go this side first and then we'll wrap it around here, because then I can use the pulley as a kind of more strength. Oh, no, this is how you do it. Look, there's screws here. So you must have to undo the 4 screws, and then this will, hopefully the motor will slide towards here, and then I can tension it up the same way you would do a fan belt on a car. That's it. Look, now I can move this all the way to here. Hopefully it will be easier. Still not easy though. My. Everything's hard on lawnmowers. If everything was clamped in a vice, it'd be easier as well. It's just wiggling everywhere, which makes it hard. Right, maybe I can get it on this way at the very, very, very top. I struggled, and I struggled some more. I'm going to fast forward times 20. That's how much I struggled on this. Oh, that was close. That was definitely close. Come on. Nearly there, nearly there. Oh my word, I'm nearly there. Go down, not up. I want you to go down. Go down. Nearly there. Down. I think that's on. I think that is on. Weirdly, this needs to go. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. So I now need to try to get this. Now I need to loosen. I was going to say it's not level, but that's because this is not on. You know what? I'm going to struggle to get these in here now. That pulled it in well. It's nowhere near the middle like it was before. So I wondered, did the heating it up really shrink it that much? Yeah, that's pulled it all in. Weirdly though, it's not straight. That's not straight. If you were to have a look there, it's, can't see because of the black background, but it doesn't look good, you know? It looks like this has been bent in a bit. It really looks like the belt is far too tight. And this, of course, is going to loosen up a little bit. Well, maybe when I put it back in the house and it will straighten up a bit, but right now, to me, it looks like this is ever so slightly bananaed this way, and it looks like this is going in there, I think, because of the belt. Also, it looks like this needs to be a little bit more this way. The belt seems to be going up here. But are they all just bad tolerances because it's a relatively cheap product? Not too sure. Because it looks like I've got this completely flat against here now. I've done up those screws and they're flat against here. So I tried loosening up the screws a little bit and doing up the front ones to try to undo the bow, but it doesn't really make any difference. The belt just looks like it's a little bit too tight now. But saying that, when it starts being used, like anything, the belts will probably slacken off a little bit more when they start actually heating up and spinning round and stuff like that. So maybe this is the tightest that belt's ever going to be. Anyway, I need to put this all back together now, but what I want to do is I want to see if it's possible that you can buy those bosses, and also is it possible to buy the grass collection box. So let me have a quick look online and see what there is. So now that should spin, I think. Let's put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on there and there. Now that was a good knee click. Okay, so I typed in HYM3200E spares, and I've got this website here, which is powerspares.co.uk, and they seem to have every spare for it. So I don't know whether they're buying new ones and just breaking them down, which is probably quite a nice little business. But look, I can get a grass box, which is fantastic, for £14, $13.99. And if I go all the way up here, look at this. They've got everything, even the nuts and bolts. A genuine replacement blade boss, that's what I need, for $6.99. So that's going to be £21 for that and the grass box, so I might well do that. But then, do I go for this? There's also, see, I've already got that, but there's also this. A genuine replacement box handle for £6, and that slots between here and here. Now, a couple of cable ties will actually do the job, but maybe I should get that as well. But then you see, if I add that on as well, I'm now paying £27 in total. I paid £20 for this, so that means £47 has been sunk into it, and it's still a second-hand used device. I'm going to have a look what they cost new. I don't think they cost much more, but leave it with me for a bit and I'm going to work out what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not going to take this any further. I had a look and I can buy a new one from B&Q for £70. I can get working ones on eBay for a lot less than that. Interestingly though, for £25 there's loads of people selling faulty ones, And a lot of them seem to be down as drive belt issues, and that's exactly what this one had. So I'm wondering, because everything's plastic and everything's quite flexible, it's not even really that thicker plastic, it's all flexible. Interestingly, they advertise it as a rust-free chassis. Well, yeah, it is rust-free because the whole thing is near enough plastic. I'm wondering whether if it encounters a stone, or in my garden I've got loads of fir cones and stuff, I'm wondering if it encounters them, if the blade kicks a bit, and I'm wondering whether it sends the drive belt off, because everything's plastic, so maybe there's a bit of give. Also, I'm not overly happy with the level of that belt. I don't feel bad, because the thing is, I bought this thinking it was a new in-box one, and I thought it'd be nice to see what was faulty on it, and if it's fixable, then I have a new lawnmower. This is clearly not new. It's going to need probably a new blade, definitely needs a new boss, and it needs the grass collection thing and the handle. By the time I've bought all of those 4 things, I've near enough paid for that. Well, I haven't, but I could get a working one on eBay. It's pointless, and if I was wanting to buy a lawnmower, I wouldn't buy this particular one. So yeah, I'm just going to put it back together with the blade and stuff, put the boss back together with a bit of glue and epoxy and stuff, just to try to get it in some sort of shape. And then I'm just going to show you it cutting a bit of grass at the end of the video. We fixed it, but it's unfixable because I need to buy spares for it. So yeah, it's one of those things. There's not much I can do about it. I wouldn't have bought it if I knew it was in this state, but it is what it is. Got my goggles on, and I'm going to try to reform these shapes a little bit so they can fit in here, because at the moment they're all melted down and worn down. They're kind of like a half moon. Okay, well, listen to that. Look at that, that's locked in. Look, can you hear? Yeah. It's definitely locked in better than it was before. So now I'm just going to glue this onto here. And glue that side. It's weird because this side looks so much bigger. Yeah, it's definitely not a circle anymore. It's slightly more oblong, because I think this has got melted, because I think with all the spinning off the blade on the plastic, I suppose it might have created a bit of friction, and it might have melted at some stage. Anyway, it's not a problem, because if this is all going to work relatively well, I'll just buy a new boss. But for the moment, I'm grinding the boss back, the broken bit, to make it a nice circle again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to super glue it all up. I'm also giving everything a little bit of a key so the glue can grip to it. I'm going to super glue it all up. I'm going to clamp it. And then I'm going to fill all the gaps with epoxy. And hopefully that will give it a little bit of strength. And then what I do is I give it a little bit of a clean, just to get rid of some of the massive clumps of dried grass. And before the epoxy goes completely hard, because it only takes about 5 or 10 minutes, when it goes tacky, I then put the blade back on, because then it will just allow the blade to grip onto the boss a little bit better. If I need to put a new boss on, it's not a problem, because when I take the blade off, a quick chisel and hammer is just going to take that boss straight off. It will just break into tiny bits. So that's no bother at all if I do have to get a new boss. But anyway, I'm actually quite happy with how it goes. And when it comes to tightening, it's really easy. You just grab the blade, tighten it, and I've tightened it as hard as I can. I know tightening it was really easy. I had a nightmare taking off the blade, but putting it back on is really, really easy. And then what I do is I put the handle and stuff back on the lawnmower. I just want to show you the safety switch on it. Right, I've got the handle on now, and this is quite nice. For safety, that won't work. You have to press this first, then do that, and then you can hear a little click. It's quite a nice little safety thing. Now, I'm not going to try it now inside, because I know the blades are going to be spinning. Just in case something was to vibrate off and come loose, I'd rather that just dig into the lawnmower or the grass outside rather than my neck. There we go, nice and clean, so nobody can get upset about taking apart a lawnmower on the kitchen floor. Nobody will be any the wiser, which is good news. I just need to hide the ½ acre of grass that's in the bin now, and then we can go outside and test this thing. Okay, we're ready to mow. What I've done is I've lowered it down to the shortest, the lowest setting, because the grass doesn't actually need cutting. Maybe a little bit down there. Oh, squirrel. The grass is sopping wet at the moment, so it's not going to cut very nice at all. Clearly you shouldn't be mowing when it's wet. There'll be a risk of electrocution, and it's not just that, everything's going to get all clumpy and it's not going to cut nice. But still, let's see what it can do. We all know that it's a product that's made, looks like as cheaply as possible, and it looks very flimsy. The good part about that is that it's actually very lightweight, so when you move it around the place it's nice and easy to move, and also on wet grass it's not going to rust either because it's all plastic. Here goes. To do the switch here you have to press the button in first, then do this. That's the third coat. Well, you can clearly see there that the grass has been cut. So it does what it needs to do, which is fantastic. So I think I will buy the grass box for it, because then that will all shove into the grass box when the grass is dry, not when it's all wet like this, because it will just clump. But yeah, I think I'm gonna buy it. Well, overall, I wouldn't have bought this if I'd known what it was like, but now that I've bought it, £20 I think is a fair enough price, and I think it will probably work okay for a while anyway. So that is it for this video. Probably frustrating to watch, but hopefully you got some enjoyment from it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again, fingers crossed, tomorrow.